Hello everyone, this is Asghar Nazir. In this video, I will show you how to rename things in your IntelliJ. Sometimes we might need to rename a file or a variable name or a package name or maybe the project itself. It's not that straightforward to rename things because in programming the things they are interlinked. Let's say for example I have this class test1 and I want to rename this class. Now if I try to rename this right away by using this editor, I will get an error. The reason I get an error is because we are violating a rule of Java. Java rule says that the name of the file in which this class exists, the name of that file and this class name, they must be same. That is the reason why we are getting an error here. So let's say for example if you want to rename a file, then the proper way to rename a file and the class at the same time is this. Right click on your class name. You can also right click on your file name. Right click on your class name and then click on refactor and then click on rename. And now you will notice the moment I make any changes here, those changes are also applied to the file name. So let's say for example I like the name of the class to be demo. The moment I hit enter, you will notice that not only the name of the class here has been changed to demo, but the file name in which this class is present is also changed to demo. Similarly, if we have to rename a package, as you can see the package names, they are always present on top of a class name. And if I try to rename the package from here, again I will get an error because as per the rules of Java, the package name that we are using here and the package name here, they must be same. So we cannot just go ahead and start renaming things just like that. We have to again use the refactor. So right click and then refactor and then rename. So let's say I want to call it demo as well. So if I click on refactor, you will notice that not only the package name here has been changed, but the package name here is also changed. So we should always use refactor whenever we have to rename things. Similarly, if you want to rename your project, it's also not that straightforward. In IntelliJ, projects are divided into modules and then modules are divided into sources and then packages and classes. So for example, if I try to right click and then if I try to rename this using the refactor feature, let's say I want to call it Java Basics 1. So if I do that and if I click on OK, you will notice that my project here, it is still called Java 11 Basics. It has not changed the project name. It's actually the module that it has changed. So I see Java 11 Basics 1 inside these pairs of square brackets, but my project is still called Java Basics. So if I want to rename the module as well as the project name, what I have to do, I have to click on this arrow, the kind of arrow that we see here next to this project. And once we are here, we need to click on this project file and then we need to right click. So now we are renaming the project. Earlier we renamed the modules. Remember, IntelliJ, it organizes your projects into modules and then your modules are further organized into packages, classes and sources. So now I am changing the name of my project. So I click on refactor, then rename, and now if I press Java 11 Basics 1 and if I click on 1, now you will notice that my project has been changed to Java 11 Basics. So again, I can go back to the previous view by clicking on the project. So here I see Java 11 Basics 1. And here also now I see Java 11 Basics 1. So remember, whenever you have to rename your project has modules and most of the time you see the view of module. So you want to rename your project and module all together, then you right click, refactor, rename, and this time it will give you an option that, hey, do you want to rename the directory, you want to rename the module, or you want to rename the module as well as the directory. So if I select both the options and if I change it back to Java 11 Basics, now it will rename the project as well as the module inside it. Similarly, when we are coding, we might be dealing with a lot of variables. So let's say for example, if I have a variable age and I have stored something in here, and then if I am, let's say, printing out that age variable, and then I have used that age variable on many different places. Like for example, just for the demo purposes, let me duplicate this line multiple times. Now this age variable has been used on all of these lines, inside all of these lines. lines. And now if I try to rename it by just entering any other name, let's say for example I call it my age, again it will not work. And if I do that, I have to go and change all of these age variables manually one by one if I don't use the refactor feature. So what the right way to rename things, the variables as well, if you have used that variable on multiple locations, is you double click and then again you click on refactor and then you should rename. And now if I say my age, you will notice everywhere where I have used this variable, IntelliJ will rename my variable everywhere else, and my code will not break and it will continue to work fine. So this is the proper way of renaming things in IntelliJ: your projects, your package names, your classes, your variable names. Always use refactor. And for the project names, this thing that you see in here, it's not your project, it's your module. So when you right click and refactor it, you are basically renaming your module. If you want to rename your project as well, you need to go to project, then project files, and then you have to refactor it again, and then you can get back to the previous view by clicking on this project. So that's it for this video. I hope you have learned a lot from this video and you will be using these features of IntelliJ to rename things. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care, and don't forget to subscribe.